Greetings, everyone. Hey. Welcome to another edition of Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. I'm Craig Nolan. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, everyone. I'm Daniel Pineda.
And my name's Adele Kuo.
And this is our first show, believe it or not, for October 2019, Burr month number 2.
Fall's coming up.
Boy, Christmas is not far away, hey? But with the temperatures we've had lately, maybe snow won't happen until, June.
Maybe Halloween, Turkey Day.
Get the holidays in order.
Thanksgiving.
Holy fanoli. Anyway, here we go with another edition of Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. Thanks for joining us. Usual lineup of goodies right here, and I'll run them down for you. Our news segment, as I may have or may not have mentioned. EBG, you may have noticed Adele is here for another installment of
It's Easy Being Green.
Indeed it is. CBB, as I may or may not have mentioned. And Denise Pringle, our theater reviewer, is here, and she's looking at Jitney, playing at a local theater near you. News for seniors, and then a roll-in, our styrofoam mom, Miriam Gennari, and our guests. And that's our show, but before we begin, social media information from Senior Pineda.
Holy smokes, Batman.
Holy smokes.
Well, you can watch the Arlington Weekly News on our very own YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News and the number 1. Also facebook.com/Arlington Weekly News. And we can't forget the radio, right, Craig?
Also on the radio, you can hear the audio from this little show of ours here on WERA 96.7 LP FM. Check us out. We're in your ear. All right, first of our news items. Here we go. Get ready to jot it down. Regular viewers and listeners have probably figured out by now that Arlington Independent Media, also known as AIM, is starting their fall fund drive. It's begun. Yes, it has. Now's the time for everyone to look into their hearts and their wallets and dig deep and find a way to make a contribution. Donating is easy. The online address is www.arlington.media.org. You can also visit us at our studios here at 2701C Wilson Boulevard, right across from Whole Foods in Clarendon. There's free parking on Danville, so stop in and give us a look and give us a donation. Daniel.
Well, some of the online comments that appear in response to stories about AIM reveal, well, a lack of understanding of the purpose of AIM. Here's one. P-Dog wrote, the correct amount of taxpayer subsidy for cable TV that nobody watches is 0. A fundamental purpose of public access media is to provide people like P-Dog with the ability to articulate their views via both television and radio production, rather than a single sentence in the 28th comment after an online story. Since AIM also streams online and has a radio station to which people can listen, the cable TV comment is obsolete. If P-Dog bothers to tune in, listen in, or, well, even stream in, his or her comments will be better informed. Come on, P-Dog. We're here for you.
Right. Thank you, Daniel. Here we go with another of our news items. Conscientious Arlingtonians will be pleased to find out that there are 3 new recycling centers coming online. These new locations are Aurora Hills Community Center. They're located at 735 18th Street South. Also, there's a new one at Cherrydale Branch Library, 2190 North Military Road, not too far from the intersection of Lee Highway, Lorcom Lane, and Quincy or Military Road. Also, there's a new one at Lee Community Center, 5722 Lee Highway, right close to the intersection of Lee Highway and Lexington. These locations will allow only residents, take 2, county residents, to drop off their glasses, jars, and bottles, that sort of thing, with less driving. It is still somewhat ironic, however, that residents are now required to transport their recyclable glass items, which was previously picked up from their homes in the blue carts, by the same trucks that continue to run the same routes. Wondering about that one, Daniel.
Well, on to our last news story for tonight. Our friends at ARL Now recently published the results of a U.S. Census report showing that Arlington's median household income is now $122,394, which is more than double the national median of $63,179. The income report seems impressive, but amidst a significant piece of information, the number of households that require multiple wage earners to maintain themselves in Arlington, as opposed to the number of households nationwide in which a single wage earner is sufficient. A report of individual incomes might provide, well, a different perspective.
Different indeed. Fun with statistics. Yes, we do. We cover it all here at AWN. All right, we'll be back with our CBB Community Bulletin Board file right after we hear from Adele Kuo in another installment of
It's Easy Being Green.
Here's Adele.
Yes, I have another exciting segment. It's Easy Being Green, and my name is Adele Kuo, and Joe Tree Frog here continues the great debate we started, chocolate or vanilla.
Chocolate.
Last week we discovered pollinating the vanilla orchid without the bee. The story of chocolate also begins in the shade of the tropical rainforests of Central and South America. The ancient Mayan and Aztec civilizations revered the cacao tree as the tree of life for its magical, mystical, and spiritual qualities. The tree's botanical name, Theobroma cacao, means food of the gods in Greek. The cacao flowers are quite unique. They not only flower at the tips of branches, but burst out all along the older branches and grow directly on the trunk. Nor do they bloom only seasonally. They flower throughout the entire year. Thus, the cacao tree displays the very unusual quality of having flowers and fruit on the tree at the same time. The masses of dime-sized flowers are fussy and make pollination very difficult. Each petal curves into a tiny little hood, and this hood fits down around the plant's male pollen-making structure. It is solely up to teeny tiny flies, the chocolate-biting midges, that are little bigger than a poppy seed, to crawl up in there and work their magic. The midges typically emerge from a flower hood speckled with only 30 grains of sticky white pollen. One cacao pod requires 100 to 250 grains of pollen to fertilize its 40 to 60 seeds. The unusual fruit pods also add to the magical qualities of the cacao tree. Weighing over a pound, the fruit pods are vibrantly colored and sprout all over the trunk also and hang from all parts of the branches. The fruit do not drop to the ground when ripe, but attract birds and wildlife to eat the pods and disperse the seeds throughout the rainforest. It does take 4 to 5 years for this tree to start bearing fruit, and 4 to 5 months for the large cacao pods to mature after pollination. These colorful cacao pods contain roughly 40 to 50 cacao beans, and it takes approximately 400 cocoa beans to make just a pound of chocolate. Today, the average American consumes 12 pounds of chocolate each year. More than $75 billion a year is spent on chocolate worldwide. So without pollinators, many of us would not be able to enjoy either chocolate or vanilla. So remember, it's easy being green.
So Adele, for you, is it chocolate or vanilla? You never gave
I
us
like
an
them
answer.
both.
Yeah, I do too.
Neutral,
I do too.
neutral.
I like to
All
mix
right.
them together.
Well, so do I. I mean, what is chocolate without a little vanilla? You know, they give you
Exactly,
some
gotta have
contrast
both,
there.
you know?
Little black and white. And those, what are they? Chocolate biting midges? Holy
Those
cow, we need
teeny,
them.
Tiny little flies.
Oh,
Don't
tiny,
run
tiny
into
little-
them. They'll bite you. They're
Ouch.
really mean.
Where would we be without the midges?
That's right.
All right, we appreciate it. Thanks,
you,
Adele,
Adele.
for another EBG segment. Here we go, as promised now, our CBB, Community Bulletin Board file. Well, Potomac Conservancy, the region's leading advocate for clean water, is starting their Growing Native season again for 2019. Join in this event and help collect seeds to plant in deforested areas all around the country. This is a free, FRW-free event taking place on Saturday, October 12, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Arlington National Cemetery. You can register online by visiting www.potomac.org and then clicking on the events link. Daniel.
Well, Craig, next up is being covered by health insurance such as Medicare is an important part of life, especially for people who are retired. If you ever had a question about Medicare, such as, well, what does it do? How do I get it? How much does it cost? Am I eligible? Then this event is for you. This 90-minute session will provide information and answers to all of these questions and more. This is happening on Saturday, October the 12th from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. That's at the Barbara M. Donnellan Auditorium at Arlington Central Library, located at 1015 North Quincy Street.
And Daniel, also in our CBB file, it's almost time for Halloween. Get into the spirit of the season with this event that is great for kids of all ages. Your child can decorate their very own pumpkin while enjoying spooky stories, puppet shows, songs, and a lot more. This is coming up on Saturday, October 12, from 11 till 12, from the a.m. to the p.m. portion of the day, in the loft at Cherrydale Branch Library. They're located at 2190 Military Road. Attendance on a first-come, first-served basis, so get there early. Daniel.
Well, Craig, finding housing can be a headache, but it doesn't need to be. If you're looking for more information about housing in Arlington, then the Live in Arlington Housing Information Fair is the perfect event for you. This free public event will provide you with information about buying or renting in Arlington, resources for people looking for housing, workshops on ownership, and yes, chances to speak one-on-one with experts and professionals. That all takes place on Saturday, that's October the 5th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And that's at the Walter Reed Community Center located at 2909 16th Street South. Craig.
All right, Daniel, and here's a heads up for all you parrot heads. Finally, there's a 1-week run of Escape to Margaritaville from October 8th through the 13th at DC's National Theater. You can get more information at thenationaldc.com. And as always, thanks to Jordan Kuharski for his efforts in sending us these CBB stories every week. We appreciate it. Thanks, Jordan. All right, we'll be back after we hear from Denise Pringle and her thoughts on Jitney. Here's Denise.
Jitney, one of August Wilson's American Century cycle plays, is set in his hometown of Pittsburgh in the 1970s. It is a story of the Hill District, a section of the city that was not served by licensed and regulated taxis or other public transportation. It focuses on the intertwined lives of 5 gypsy cab drivers and the owner of the car service, located on a block that is slated to be torn down as part of the gentrification of the neighborhood. Stephen Anthony Jones, excellent as Becker, runs the car service and keeps Amari Cheaton's hot-headed Youngblood and the meddling Turbo, played by Ray Anthony Thomas, from having violent altercations. He attempts to curtail the drinking habits of Anthony Chisholm's Fielding in a performance that could have easily lapsed into a one-dimensional depiction by a lesser actor. Unfortunately, Becker totally fails to have any compassion for his own son Booster, played by Francois Baptiste. Booster is a newly released felon who has served 20 years for murder. The characters in Jitney are the typically gritty types we expect from August Wilson. Youngblood is a Vietnam vet who is actually trying to plan a pleasant surprise for Rena, the mother of his young son. But it comes as no surprise that his motives for being seen with Peaches, her sister, are questioned. These are the downtrodden members of this community, but Wilson gives them empathy when he defines their struggles to survive in a crumbling environment of a doomed neighborhood that offers little opportunity to dream or thrive. He even endows Booster with the suggestion that he is willing to carry on the work of the father who couldn't embrace or forgive him. Director Ruben Santiago Hudson largely reassembled the team he worked with on the Broadway production of 2017. Scenic designer David Gallo's set captures the grimy look of the deteriorating office that is about to be demolished. The costume designs of Tony Leslie James remind us of some of the more unfortunate fashion choices of the 70s. Most of the cast has extensive experience acting in Wilson's plays. This well-crafted production of Jitney plays at Arena Stage through October 20th. It's interesting to compare the themes of the play's neighborhood gentrification to the current redevelopment of Arena's own Southwest District into the glitzy new waterfront it is becoming. We can only imagine the fate of the local lives being jostled. They have no August Wilson to speak for them. I'm Denise Pringle. Now back to the news desk.
All right, nice job,
Nice
Denise.
job, thank
And her
you.
thoughts on Jitney playing at Arena. Check it out. Okay, here we go. As promised, news for seniors, glasses and place, and away we go. The Arlington Historical Museum, located at 1805 South Arlington Ridge Road, has a unique rotating exhibit of more than 350,000 artifacts. The museum is owned and operated by the Arlington Historical Society. Carl Van Newkirk will discuss its history and transformation from the Hume School into the museum that it is today. His presentation will include a show and tell, followed by a Q&A afterwards. And that's coming up on Wednesday, October 9 at 1 in the afternoon at Aurora Hills Senior Center. They're located at 735 18th Street South. For more information and to register, give them a call at the number on your screen and in your ear, 703-228-5722. Daniel.
Well, Craig, technology guru Nick England will be presenting an overview of home automation devices such as Amazon Alexa and Google Home. This is a basic introduction to learn how these devices can control lights, lock doors, play music, and answer questions. It will take place on Friday, October the 11th at 1 p.m. at the Arlington Mills Senior Center, located at 909 South Dinwiddie Street. To register, give them a call at 703-228-7369.
And Daniel, also in news for seniors, Julie Pierce and Miriam Campos, patient navigators from Virginia Hospital Center's Cancer Research Center, will discuss the do's and don'ts of cancer prevention. They will offer simple strategies to reduce the risk of cancer. This program will be offered in both English and Spanish. It'll take place on Tuesday, October 8 at 11 in the morning at Langston Brown Senior Center, located at 2121 North Culpeper. To register and get more information, give them a call at this number, 703-228-6300. Daniel.
Well, Craig, when did you get a good night's, an 8-hour night's sleep? Never, right? Well, learn how to identify behaviors that may signal a problem, as well as practical strategies for developing better sleep habits. Gwendolyn Sutton of Virginia Hospital Center will discuss the most common sleep problems, self-care skills of insomnia, and professional resources when self-care isn't enough. That all takes place on Friday, October the 11th at 11 a.m. That's at the Walter Reed Senior Center, located at 909 South Dinwiddie Street. To register, give them a call at 703-228-0955. Craig.
And finally, in news for seniors, Matthew Quinn of Quinn's Auction Galleries has been a guest appraiser for Antiques Roadshow since 2010. He will discuss what to keep for family versus what to give away or sell. He will also share information on how estate sales and auctions work. That's coming up on Wednesday, October 9 at 1:30 in the afternoon at Langston Brown Senior Center, located at 2121 North Culpeper. For more information and to register, give them a call at 703-228-6300. And that's it for our News for Seniors. As always, thanks to Judy Masabny of OSAP, Office of Senior Adult Programs, for helping us out and sending in these announcements. We appreciate it, Judy. And we'll be back with sign-off and bye-bye right after we hear from our Styrofoam mom, Miriam Gennari, and another installment of her Sustainable Scoop. Here's Miriam.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of the Sustainable Scoop. I'm here with Lara Ilao. She is the president and founder of PlasticTree. Welcome.
Hi, Miriam. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
It's my honor. You are an innovator in our area. And so I just want to jump right in. Tell us what PlasticTree is so nobody gets confused.
Okay. PlasticTree is a climate positive waste management company. We are launching an experimental pilot to collect items that can be reused, packaging that's reusable.
So let me just give people an example of this PlasticTree. It's things like glass, and it's things like these wonderful containers that can't be recycled but certainly reused. And this big bin here, this could end up in the recycling bin or perhaps in the trash. But what does PlasticTree want to do with these things?
So PlasticTree's core mission is to divert waste from the landfill, but to do so in a way that also offsets the production of more material. Recycling is great, but when we recycle often, especially with plastic, virgin material is added. And we came up with this idea that, there's inherent value in a lot of packaging.
Oh, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
Why are we throwing things away after one use, or even recycling things after one use? It's almost the same thing. You're losing that actual value.
Well, and recycling in this country is a mess. And so what some people used to be able to recycle, they can't. In a lot of situations, people don't want food service recycling, even if it is still durable. And what's amazing is not only do you recognize this and you care enough to take action, but there are a lot of people that are very interested in your work, especially in Washington, D.C. Tell us about that.
Yes, well, I think one of our inspirations for doing this was, how do we bring zero waste to the mass market?
Everybody wants it, right? Zero waste.
Exactly, and right now zero waste means bringing things with you, carrying things around, and that's fine. But what happens if you're someone who forgets to do things, or you have a million things on your plate? We wanted to create a system where materials and packaging can get reused easier than it is right now. I'm still encouraging people to reuse as much as they can in their home lives and to bring things with them, but this is kind of this safety net, this capture safety net.
More than a safety net, you're going to do curbside. You are going to provide homeowners and businesses these gigantic bins or these kind of mid-sized bins in condos so that they can take these items and make sure that they're not only going to be potentially recycled eventually, but definitely reused. That's fantastic.
Yeah, we want to create a more transparent collection.
There's a lot you're going to have to figure out, like what items are going to be the most lucrative to see people recycle or to put into your bins. And then you're going to need to find a secondary market.
Yes, we're treating the first 6 months almost as a pilot collection. Okay. We want to find out what comes back to us. We're going to give this instruction to homeowners and to people. Put what you think can be reused or refilled as is, undamaged packaging that can be reused for its original intent and design. Not repurposed. We're not trying to take a detergent bottle and turn it into a planter. We're trying to say, can this be reused for what it's meant to be reused for?
Right.
And work with companies, not just the major brands, but also small businesses, local businesses, to help them get back their packaging so that they don't have to keep using new packaging.
Well, waste costs money. It is not free. Out of sight, it is not out of mind anymore. It is a major issue in this country. A lot of people are thinking about revitalizing our recycling program. A lot of people believe that the best thing to do is go zero waste, and yet we end up with this packaging in our businesses, in our homes, every single day. So I applaud you and your team for what you're doing. How do people find out more and potentially sign on to your program?
You could visit our website, PlasticTree.com, or send me an email. It's also available on the website. But yes, we just want to get the word out on our service. We want to establish reuse. We say reuse, reduce, reuse, recycle, and we want to actually put action to that. We want to treat reuse as its own separate collection. We think there's a lot we can do with collecting things intact and using things and recapturing their original value.
I am so thrilled for that work. So that website again is PlasticTree.com. I want to thank you so much, Lara, for coming to see us today. And I want to thank all of you for watching this edition of The Sustainable Scoop. But until next time, this is Miriam Gennari. That's The Sustainable Scoop. Back to the news desk.
All right, nice job.
Thank you.
Miriam Gennari, and talking
Her
about
guest.
PlasticTree and her guest, that's good stuff. Like it, nice video. Which may have a little difficulty playing on WERA, but somehow we'll make it work, right? Of course we will. Okay, well that's about a wrap for this edition, our first in October 2019 of Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. Anything else to add before we
Have a great week.
shuffle off
Have a
into
great week. We'll
video
see you
land
next
out
week.
there? Okay. Thank you all for watching out there. Next week, if you're there out there, we'll be here and we'll try it all again. Have a safe week. Bye-bye.